the old guy from Hip Hop News Uncensored. And sitting across from me is my co-host.
What it do? What's good? It's your brother Sam and Viral Hip Hop News. It's a Monday. We are in the building. Another episode of the Uncensored podcast. Oh God, what's good, my brother?
What's good? What up, people out there? We in the building, kicking off the week the right way, man. I'm excited to be in here today, man, after a little long weekend. But we're here, family. We want to give a shout out to everybody that's going to listen on YouTube, you know, or wherever you want to actually listen to the podcast. We do appreciate you right now, man. And yeah, man, beautiful, beautiful day today, bro.
Absolutely, man. Excited to get back to work. Like you said, it was a long weekend. We ain't talk all weekend, man. That's very rare.
Yeah.
We don't really get up during the weekend, but it was a great weekend. Well rested, ready to get back to work. We got a great lineup for you this evening.
Yeah.
So, man, let's get right to it. What we got on the ticker today?
Man, we're going to talk about Jussie Smollett. You know, that whole situation down there kind of blowing up in his face. Also, Micheal Rapaport and Meek Mill have been having some words, Twitter fingers, busting some Twitter fingers at each other. Also, Colin Kaepernick in the NFL reached a settlement. A lot of people are up in arms about that. Also, we're going to talk about 50 Cent and the NYPD, that development, and Will Smith and situation he's got going on with him. So nice little lineup today, man.
Yeah, man. As always on the Uncensored podcast, make sure you hit that like button, whether you're listening on Viral Hip Hop News Uncensored, or the Uncensored podcast official channel. We appreciate you, man. So what we got going on first, brother?
I think I'm gonna start with this right here, man. I'm gonna start with the Micheal Rapaport, you know, Meek Mill, because the All-Star game popped off last night, even though admittedly I didn't watch it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But I guess during the game, we just got finished watching the J. Cole and Meek Mill came on like right after him, it appears. And Micheal Rapaport on Twitter last night at around 8 o'clock started going in on Meek Mill. I'll read his tweets and put them on the screen there. He says, Meek Mill have a hearing problem because he rhymes off the actual beat and everything he's on, literally off the beat, no flow. He put Meek Mill, great story, great look, trash rapper. I'm sorry, says you make 300 songs, 5 will be okay. Meek Mill. But then he goes on to say, Meek Mill had a chance to prove he was a dope rapper, and then came Drake. That was the moment to stand tall as a rapper. Like I said, great story, great look, probably going to do some positive stuff, but none of that means you're a dope MC. Dragged by Drake. He also continues on and said, Meek, oh, that's the same one right there. That's a double. He says, also, where I'm from, if you get dragged by Drake and you don't respond, you will always be whack. At least make it competitive. Re-up something. People catch it feeling because you know I'm right about Meek Mill. He went in, man. He definitely went in. What do you think? You say, man, you heard the performance. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Anyway, he said a few more things, but that's the most relevant, you know, things that he said. He also said, though, I got to include this one, that Meek Mill isn't even a top 20 rapper from Philadelphia. And you guys are mad at me. Take shots at any one of you hip hop bloggers, writers, and podcasters mad about my Meek Mill reality. Never been on a rooftop. None of you cornballs know what you're talking about. Sam, man, what do you think about Micheal Rapaport taking some shots at our brother Meek?
Well, see, I like Micheal Rapaport. I do. But he thinks it's because he was on rooftops, maybe getting slapped around or listening to some hip hop, that he thinks that he has merit in speaking about this. He's wrong. He's 1,000% wrong in this situation now. And in his layers. And I'm glad you said about what, because you were one to say that you agree with him when it comes to a little bit of that Drake.
I was pissed off about
aspect,
the Drake. Just the Drake. Yeah.
Exactly. You would be a little upset about that. But top 25 rapper in Philly, he's crazy. Name 24 better rappers in Philadelphia than Meek Mill. Come on, man. Mm-hmm. As far as the performance is concerned, it wasn't terrible. It was NBA All-Star weekend. You expect him to go out there and go all out. He wasn't offbeat. I didn't hear anything off time. I think he was stretching with that. When it comes to him and his albums and him being a trash rapper, when you look at the evolution of where Meek came from to where Meek is now, it's ignorant and crazy for you to say he's a trash rapper. Now, he may not be the most lyrical for your ear, the most lyrical for your sound, but to say he was a trash rapper, you stretching on that.
Well, Meek Mill did respond. He says, hey, Micheal Rapaport, don't ever use the word trash when you're speaking on nothing from our culture unless you're trying to get trash. Who gave you the authorization to be speaking to us? What are you charging now? Last time I seen you, you wanted a selfie. Be great, though, on the net. Interesting response there from Meek Mill. And I got to say, you know, I was definitely disappointed about the Drake situation, but it is, you know, it's water under the bridge. It is what it is. I don't know, man. You know, to me, this is just this Twitter going back and forth. It's not really any merit. I think Meek Mill's doing a great job, what he's doing right now, with his little Reform Alliance, and that's a huge thing that he's doing for the city of Philly. Everybody knows he does a lot, what he can in Philly. He's taking care of his family, so it just is what it is, man. I don't think this is nothing, too crazy right here. But you do have a lot of people who are going to agree with this, and aspects about as far as like Meek Mill, where he fits, maybe not in Philly, but like a lot of people think Meek is trash in the game. You know what I mean? A lot of people think that.
You hear that around?
Oh yeah, a lot of people think that Meek Mill, not trash, but not compared to the top guys in the game, they think he comes nowhere near. Now I would say about Meek Mill, I love him. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? A lot of passion. You know what I mean? Maybe not the most lyrical guy out there. This guy's more lyrical, but he's definitely one of the I think top in the game right now.
This is why I'm going to defend Meek Mill, because I understand where people are coming from maybe not the most lyrical, but it kind of makes me think of, all right, if you from Louisiana and you got your Louisiana rappers and you understand their flow, their lingo, you may understand their bars a lot more than maybe somebody from your Jerseys or your LAs or somewhere like that. Chicago, same thing. Florida, same thing. Cali, same thing. Meek's a Philly rapper. We're from Jersey.
Right.
So the lingo, we understand his language a lot more than somebody maybe from down south, LA or somewhere else that may be calling him trash necessarily. I understand him more. I understand how he talks because I understand how Philly dudes talk. I'm from right here, so we understand that. Mm-hmm. I don't want to say that he's trash based off of people maybe not understanding a bar or two because he's talking from the streets of Philadelphia and not from maybe where you're from necessarily. Mm-hmm. When it comes, I forgot what the point that I wanted to make when it came to Micheal Rapaport.
Right.
And okay, yes, I wish that my Meek Mill didn't respond to this.
Yeah, me too.
And I understand why, because Micheal Rapaport was going in, and it's hard. You're seeing it. It's going everywhere. It's getting retweeted. Your name is everywhere. It's very easy to go pick up this phone and respond. But like we said about Cardi B, and like I say about a lot of these celebrities, you got to let these people just do their thing. They're commentators. They're gassing up the situation. You don't have to respond to this. I don't think it was worth a response. Let that man just go ahead and be in his lane, and you could.
It's like the Jay-Z effect. We always say how like people can say whatever they want. You got guys apologizing to Jay, guys taking shots at him and everything, but he just continues to sit on his throne. It's like, really, fuck these dudes. They can't affect. It's almost when you respond, you almost kind of you do throw more fuel onto that fire. And they always say the only dog that gets that yells is the one that got hit. When you throw that rock into a pack of dogs. So, I love Meek. I love where he's going with his music. I always gave him high praise, compared him to Tupac and even Jay-Z. And with the Reform Alliance, he really, is in good favor, with me, because, he could be using his platform to do a lot of other things, promoting a lot of other things. And right now, him, Jay-Z, and some other guys are now, using their platform to help people, with the Reform Alliance. So Micheal Rapaport is just a loud talking bum ass dude that you don't feed those kind of guys. You let them, like you say, you let those guys kind of just talk. He's not credible at all. I'm sad that Meek responded, but he did. And what do you think about the fact when he came out about the whole, like, this is not even your culture? Stay out of it. What do you think about that aspect when Meek Mill said?
Let him see. And I don't even want to, and I'm not saying I don't want to, but that didn't need to even be this conversation right here. Let a rap fan call you trash and leave it at that. No one's sitting here thinking that Micheal Rapaport's of high regard when it comes to hip hop. He doesn't hold a seat in any of the record labels, anything. He's a dude from New York who listened to hip hop, who listened to beatboxing, who watched the whole breaking culture and just was in hip hop as being a kid in New York. Let him do his thing as a rap fan, because he can throw the history out all day. Shouldn't he even responded to him? You ain't a top 25 rapper in Philly. Dude, tell him to name 24 rappers better than you in Philly. That's laughable. Let him just do his thing.
Probably couldn't even name 5 at this point.
Come on, man. Black Thought will be on that list, I'm sure, but he deserves to be on that list.
Yeah, I mean, kind of Meek to just let the chips fall where they may. Mm-hmm. It is what it is. So, we'll move on from here. Yeah, man, but you're tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Old God and Sam, man. Going in today, kicking off the week on this Monday. Sam, man, I want to throw a little monkey wrench in this because I got this story I just came across here. 1 second. It must have disappeared on me, but I'll pull it. No, here it is right here. We were talking about R. Kelly last week, and we were talking about, a sex tape that came out allegedly that was in the hands of an attorney. He turns it over to the prosecution. Well, right now, the same lawyer, Michael Abnadi, confirmed that a third R. Kelly sex tape with an underage girl is now in the hands of law enforcement. So it says, he says, here's his quote: "We become aware of the existence of a third tape that allegedly shows further acts of sexual abuse of an underage girl by R. Kelly. We are presently working to recover and turn over this tape to law enforcement." Sam, Matt, what do you think about this story? Just dropping a few minutes ago, just popped up here on the screen for me. And we also know that that the grand jury is now looking in and maybe bringing up charges, maybe with R. Kelly real soon here. What do you think about this new development, a third tape?
Well, it looks like they are going to bring up charges. That looks very, very possible. And honestly, the next time we spoke about R. Kelly, I was getting ready to talk about him being locked up and being arrested, because that's where it looks like it's going.
I think so.
Yeah, it's getting heavy. It's getting deep. I'm reading a lot of different articles, and a lot of different people in a lot of high areas are thinking that the cops and everything have enough evidence to go ahead and make their move. That just, it's not about if, it's about when. So they have everything in line. The ducks are in order. They're about to go after R. Kelly. So
should he run?
Whoa, should he run?
Should he leave at this point?
No, he shouldn't leave.
Think he should stand and fight?
Stand and fight, or deal with your consequences like a man. You sitting on tape with underage females doing wild shit, man. Allegedly. You got to meet your maker. Right. Allegedly right now. Absolutely. Keep it like that. Absolutely. Allegedly right now. If it is true and those tapes are indeed accurate and you are sitting there, man, you got to go ahead and take that.
Now, a lot of people, were, not defending R. Kelly, but looking at the evidence, and mainly when it said the VHS tape, a lot of people started kind of just laughing at that. It's like, how old is this video? You know what I mean? It's not going to be enough evidence, to get this guy. This is just another false story that's out there. Definitely credible. The lawyers definitely turn it over to the police, these videotapes, but enough evidence, to bring him down. It is kind of looking like that now. Now you say a third tape, and because last week we were just talking about one. Mm-hmm. Now, it's more and more starting to come out on him. I don't think he'll run. I think he'll fight it. And the older it is, I think the better chance he has of beating it again.
Well, there's a lot coming out now back from 2008 that it was some paying off going on and some real shady activity going on in why he even got off in that case. And we're going to dig further and give you more accurate information as the story continues, because there's going to be a lot more R. Kelly. It looks like the situation is heating up. Alleged tapes right now, we really can't speculate too deep. If they're anything like that first one, like I said on last week's show, I don't see him getting out of this again. I don't see him getting put on trial for another sexual assault case after everything that went on with the Lifetime series and the tape prior to this in 2008. And now if they have two more tapes or however many tapes, I think this is more along the line, even with an OJ, where you got away from us once. I don't give a fuck what you did. This time we're making an example.
It may be a chance that he runs. You know what I mean? It may be a chance that he, go to some non-extradition because it's like, country, excuse me, because, the walls are closing in. And if we know that we're saying that an arrest is imminent, I'm pretty sure that, his lawyer or whoever is around him, like, yo, this is getting hot. You could end up, being locked up. You know what I mean?
If he runs, is he guilty?
Not always. I mean, you can assume that, but that doesn't mean he could just be scared of prosecution. What if you were in a situation where, you didn't do something, not saying he didn't, but you didn't do something and, the law is about to close in on you, you know what I'm saying? And, you didn't do it. Would you run or would you, say, turn yourself in? So that's, I'm not, saying that he's innocent by any means, but some people have ran before. I think Russell Simmons, didn't he leave?
I'm not saying, damn, you consider that running? Yeah, he might have. He dipped off. He went some different country.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was considered him running off. That's funny as hell. I was going to ask you, have you ever seen anything like this in history where a high profile celebrity of this nature and a case like this has taken the fuck off and just went?
I think so. I think, like I said, the audience will definitely correct us. If I'm not mistaken, Russell Simmons went to, I forget the country he went to, but I'm sure the information.
So this was recent. Russell Simmons got hit up in 2018. So I mean, what, he dipped off and just they considered him
we can
running?
Look it up. Definitely.
Wow,
definitely, yeah.
I know he was talking about Macy's and how Macy's did a lot of the black manufacturers and distributors when they went and bought their products and cut it in half and really killed a lot of the fat farms and the FUBUs and things like that. And I know I was talking about that on the on Viral, and a lot of people were talking about, oh, you showing your face again and things like that. And I thought that was interesting, but
right,
I didn't think he ran. Damn,
right,
that's pretty wild.
Yeah, if you get a chance, information should definitely be on Google.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up now. But to talk about R. Kelly, I don't think he's gonna run. I think the walls are closing in on R. Kelly, and we've been talking about this shit for a year now, since Jocelyn Savage and her dad came out in the beginning of the podcast, and we just had to wait and see. We were saying that like this the sex cult thing and women of age, where we know R. Kelly's history, and then we see the Lifetime, that whole spectacle, and now if they got tapes, man, it doesn't look good for R. Kelly, and he may be doing some serious time. And we've seen Bill Cosby do it. We're not seeing a lot of the other high prominent white celebrities really going through anything serious, but that remains to be seen.
And I'm just pulling up this article. It's a few articles actually. Looks like Russell Simmons is fleeing the country to escape rape charges. So there are a few articles, here. We'll get to them. I know I definitely heard that before. I wasn't sure of the exact details of it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But there are a few stories on that. That is what it is, though, man. Definitely. But you're tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Old God and Sandman, going in today on this Monday afternoon. If you're listening on YouTube, I need you to do me two favors. As always, go ahead and hit that like button and make sure that you share this video. All right, man. Over the weekend, actually Friday night, we had a little live show, so we didn't even get a chance to talk about on Colin Kaepernick in the NFL coming to a landmark decision. Well, today another story came out pretty much saying that Colin Kaepernick's lawyer believes that he will be signed with the either New England Patriots or the Carolina Panthers within the next couple of weeks, right here. But Friday, once again, when we were absent doing another show, the NFL reached a settlement over the lawsuit that Colin Kaepernick had filed against 32 NFL teams. Now, in that lawsuit, Colin Kaepernick accused NFL owners of colluding to keep him out of the league after he became a free agent almost 2 years ago. Now, yeah, man, this is what we're at, today. And before I get your opinion on this, I want to play just to give people a clear recollection of why exactly Colin Kaepernick did what he did, because a lot of people kind of got lost in the sauce with everything going on. So I'll play a quick 2-minute clip and then we'll get back to this.
Ultimately it's to bring awareness and make people, realize what's really going on in this country. There are a lot of things that are going on that are unjust. People aren't being held accountable for. And that's something that needs to change. That's something that, this country stands for: freedom, liberty, justice for all. And it's not happening for all right now.
Do something that's evolved, lost in your mind, and how has this kind of progressed that you make a stand?
It's something that I've seen, I felt, wasn't quite sure how to deal with originally, and it is something that's evolved. It's something, as I've gained more knowledge about, what's going on in this country in the past, what's going on currently. These aren't new situations. This isn't new ground. It's things that have gone on in this country for years and years and have never been addressed, and they need to be.
Will you continue, Colin, to sit? And continue to sit?
Yes, I'll continue to sit. I'm going to continue to stand with the people that are being oppressed. To me, this is something that has to change. And when there's significant change, and I feel like that flag represents what it's supposed to represent, and this country is representing people the way that it's supposed to, I'll stand.
Specifically, what would you like to see change in order for you to stand?
There's a lot of things that need to change. One specifically is police brutality. There's people being murdered unjustly and not being held accountable. Cops are getting paid leave for killing people. That's not right. That's not right by anyone's standards.
Colin, so many people see the flag as kind of a symbol of military. How do you view it, and what do you say to those people?
I have great respect for men and women that have fought for this country. I have family, I have friends that have gone and fought for this country. And they fight for freedom. They fight for the people. They fight for liberty and justice for everyone. And that's not happening. I mean, people are dying in vain because this country isn't holding their end of the bargain up as far as, giving freedom and justice and liberty to everybody. It's something that's not happening. And I've seen videos, I've seen circumstances where men and women that have been in the military have come back and been treated unjustly by the country they fought for and have been murdered by the country they fought for. on our land. That's not right.
All right, so I'm going to actually stop it right there. This is the original when he was back with the San Francisco 49ers when he first protested. The media, was there in a locker room. So I wanted to just, give a little context to the situation. So now we're up here. They kept the amount of the settlement secret for whatever reason, but they did come to an agreement there. Colin Kaepernick going to be back in the NFL. Sam Mant, I'm going to defer this one to you. I know we've been going back over the last year about this. What do you think about, Colin Kaepernick now about to be back in the NFL and settling his lawsuit with him?
We talked about this a lot, and I've been very vocal and outspoken in saying that I think it would be disappointing if he were to go back in the NFL, but I'm not going to say that quite yet. I'm not going to go back on my words, but I'm not going to say that quite yet. I'm going to take a different approach because this is a man that has gone through a lot. It's a man that took a stand where a lot of people wouldn't, and he got his job taken away from him because of that. He's gotten a lot of opportunities taken away from him because he decided to take a stance, a very strong stance on a very, very strong and deep issue that goes on and plagues this country, which is police brutality, oppression for Black people. And we all know why he took that stand, and is very admirable in that. Throughout that time, he's gained a lot of recognition. He's gotten almost on a different mantle when it comes to activism. A lot of people are comparing him to the Ali back in 1967 when he denied going into the Vietnam War, denying draft. I'm sitting here looking at his speech right now in regards to that because it makes me almost think of that, because Ali, when he got his boxing license taken away from him and he was threatening to go to jail, ultimately his goal was to get back into the boxing ring, and he was able to do so to provide for his family. Colin Kaepernick deserves to do that too. But where I can't help but to just go, damn, it's a little bit of a disappointment, because the NFL, unlike the boxing ring, is different because you're fighting mano a mano as opposed to fighting a whole fucking league, which you're in sight doing. And you've taken on a higher role than just a quarterback in the NFL. You've taken on someone as a leader, as an activist, to put yourself through 16 weeks of nonstop ridicule, nonstop critique, when you throw an interception, when you may not read a pass right, when you may not, they're going to completely dissect you and just totally destroy you. I just ask you, is it worth it? Is it worth everything that you've put up? And I ask you the question, are you now going to kneel again and make this an issue?
Yeah, that's a big, yeah.
So it's just a lot you put yourself through as well. So, I mean,
according to his words, he definitely should still be protesting, you know what I mean? Because police brutality hasn't gotten better. All the things that categorically, all the things that he, mentioned, unless you can show us, some real statistics where you can say, oh yeah, it's got better between time he's been out since the time that he, is now going back in the league, then I have to say he should still be protesting. Now they're talking about sending him to either the Patriots or the Panthers. The Panthers will make a lot of sense. You already got Eric Reed, down here, who was his buddy, in this whole thing, standing firm, with them. Ironically, that'd be the Panthers, the Carolina Panthers. But we also got Robert Kraft. That situation would work out. You saying, him being behind Brady, so my take on it is, I would like to still see him, protest. Now, the issue was that they were pretty much, which we know was a fact, nobody wanted to pick him up, even as a backup with all these sorry backups in the NFL. So we know for a fact that the NFL was indeed doing that, and they probably paid him a hefty amount. And now they say, you know what? So I'm interested to see, how this plays out when he signs with the team. How would the NFL respond? Are they going to not show the salute anymore? Or is he going to stay in a locker room? Is he going to come out and still kneel? I'm interested to see, how this goes, moving forward. As far as the criticism, I mean, I think this is something he loves to do. And I think that he's like, you know what, man, I wanted to always play. I never wanted to stop playing. And now that I got the opportunity, it is worth it to go through the criticism. You know how it is when you play, when we was playing football. Yeah. We love that shit. You know what I mean? That's what he loves to do.
I'm going to ask you a question. Is Colin Kaepernick a sellout for when you go back? In your opinion, I'm not calling him a sellout. I'm just begging the question. I'm asking the question because a lot of people in our comment section are going to call him a sellout. Not all, but there's going to be some. What do you think?
I wouldn't call him a sellout. I wouldn't call him a sellout. I just wouldn't, because it's just like, it's a tough one because a lot of people, I can see why a lot of people would say that, but What would you do if you was in that position? This is something he was making his money, doing. This is something that he loved. He spent his whole life since a little kid trying to get into this moment and playing the NFL and finally get there and being one of the best quarterbacks, at the time, when he was in the league. So, I won't call Colin, a sellout. I would have called him that if his protest would be finished. I'm like, well, damn, but it was just a couple $dollars to pay you and get you back in the league. And now it's like, I'm done. So I would like to continue to see Colin continue, to protest until the NFL stands up and tries to take an active role against these things that are going on. I know the NFL is just a company in the war, we got that's a worldwide problem in particular the US, but I would like to see him do something. I don't think that they will. So, but yeah, I can understand why people would say that though. Definitely.
I agree. I'm not going to call him a sellout yet. I can't call that man a sellout. Right. Especially if he continues his protests and continues to speak on his truth and what he believes to be true, because the second he was blackballed out of the NFL, the protest wasn't stopping there. The team was just about to switch. I think the NFL, in knowing that, just said, "Now fuck that. We can't have this anymore. Let's keep this guy out of here." Mm-hmm. Now that he's gotten his money, and he's gotten his money justly deserved from the NFL in blackballing him and then Eric Reed, and now that he looks like he's going to find another team, I think that if you consider yourself a leader and activist, and Ali, Huey P. Newton, one of the strong activists out here for the black people, you gotta sit down. And it's we're not going to sit here and talk about it every week and get into it deep, but you got to continue that protest. Mm-hmm. You got to.
Right, definitely. So, shout out to him. We definitely want to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section. We know we will give your input on that. I can't wait to see what you guys got to say on that. But yeah, tune into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Old God, and Sam, man. Going in today on this Monday, as always, we need your participation. Go ahead and share this video and go ahead and hit the like button right there. So, all right, Jussie Smollett. I hope I'm saying his name right. Empire actor, man. This whole story has been taking so many different roller coaster twists, in turns. Well, it's now found out now after police have met who were originally the suspects, that they now want to sit down and meet with Jussie Smollett because they believe now that he actually paid, these two gentlemen to pretty much attack him. So pretty much now they want to meet with him. Sam, man, I know you did a great story on this, the other day. You could probably give us a little bit more details, on the situation as well.
He a fucking liar.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, let's just call it for what it is. Jussie Smollett. Now, we talked about this, about a month ago when it initially happened. Back in Chicago, him walking through at 2 a.m. to a Subway to grab some food, two white men, MAGA hats, had fucking nooses and bleach and screaming and all that. And we were very passionate in saying that this isn't the time to play victim. Fuck that victim shit. This is the time to take action. This cannot happen to us. We cannot allow this to happen. Mm-hmm. We're on his side. And then maybe 2 days, 48 hours later, we sat back and we did a split screen and asked, is he lying? Because when you look at it, like, the story just didn't make sense. We looked up the area in Chicago, very diverse area, very friendly to gays and homosexuality. So that didn't make sense. And then you got an area where it isn't likely where you're going to have two white males in MAGA hats able to walk around the streets of Chicago with nooses at 2 a.m. Right. That story didn't make sense. And then just nothing made sense. So we begged the question. He came out. He was very vocal about it. Nothing still made sense. So for this to come out now and for him to, in fact, lie, he got these two big ass dudes that damn sure ain't MAGA fucking supporters. They look more like they from Black Panther. Mm-hmm. And this whole thing was an act. I'm saying to myself, not only does he deserve some culpability, I know we're jumping ahead, but so does his boy Lee Daniels. Because when we talked about it initially, and although we were very supportive of Jussie Smollett in that situation, thinking that he was somebody that just went through a horrific act, something was off with homeboy. What's his name?
Lily.
Something was off with that shit. That he seemed real disgenuine, and the whole thing seemed like an act, man. So it was disappointing. What's your thoughts on Jussie?
I think it's sad, man. I think it's just, I can't say what I really want to say, but it's bad. It's sad to see, you know what I'm saying? Like, why do this?
Nutty bowl.
And why put, and it's irresponsible because it's selfish. Irresponsible and selfish because you put other people in harm's way. Mm-hmm. This whole narrative that you paint out about, about the MAGA and this, you're trying to get people to go out there and really physically hurt people. I think, not that I ever want to see another brother, you know what I mean, go to jail or anything like that, but it needs to be some type of, action against him for not only filing a false police report, but like shit, who knows what happened as a result of this? You have people like, on edge, ready to go all the way in because of this story. It was a big story. So, now you said he might not, they probably won't press any charges against him. But something needs to happen. And I don't blame those dudes, for saying, nah, forget that. He paid us to do this shit.
Yeah, hell yeah, tell him.
Right.
And with all due respect, his punk ass need to sit down for at least 30 days. You making people look bad.
Yeah.
You making black people look bad. You making homosexuals look bad. You making for the things that you tried to fight against in this situation, you made the whole thing look bad. You made the entire situation look bad. Now, God forbid someone has to go through this for real. And their story isn't going to be held up to the highest standard because they remember old stupid ass Jesse sitting here lying about something that he didn't have to lie about,
right?
And making a spectacle over it.
And then he did the whole Pac thing, which was even more disgusting and disrespectful. I don't even want to talk about this dude no more, man, to be honest with you, but it's crazy. You know what I mean? He was going to ride this thing all the way through, even if those guys got prosecuted.
I was going to ask you that. Do you think he would have rode it through?
You said you thought he would. I would like to say, definitely, because like, who would want this type of national backlash in the media against you lying about a situation like this? You're going to follow it through at the expense of 2 other kids. Interns? Fuck them. Let them go to jail and shit for this. And I'll be innocent. Now I'm a rich star. And I do what I do. Nah, man, that's fucked up, Jussie.
I think the second the prosecutors saw them dudes walk in the door, they knew that this shit was a setup. They knew damn well. Because I mean, if they did it for real, and it's common sense will tell you, if they did it, why the fuck was they here in MAGA country and shit from day? No. Jesse set that shit up.
And it was Nigerian too, right?
Yeah,
that was crazy.
Screaming that shit.
Damn, man,
Jesse.
If we had a donkey of the day, he would definitely get that shit.
We're gonna have something.
Yeah,
you got it, asshole.
Yes, sir. But you tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Old God and Sam, man. Everybody listening to this podcast, I need you to do me 2 favors. If you're listening on YouTube, go ahead and hit the like button and make sure that you share this video. I want to talk about this one, Sam, man, because we didn't get a chance to talk about this one here on the podcast yet. The 6ix9ine, the situation that came out over the weekend, where pretty much the prosecutors, pretty much are going to be cooperating, with him, and pretty much it looks like it's a possibility that if he continues to work with the feds, the prosecution, that they're going to recommend that 6ix9ine actually, don't do any time and pretty much be able to walk out of there. Now, I said it was unprecedented. A lot of people agreed. Some people didn't agree because it's moving. It moved me more and more closer to what I originally thought about this guy. So I'm gonna ask you first. What do you think about the prosecution working with 6ix9ine, saying, like, look, no jail time? Don't mean he's not going to get any. But when we talked about this, the Meek Mill situation, when a prosecution recommends, okay, I recommend 2 to 5. I recommend, the judge said, what do you think about this, man?
Man, as soon as I saw it, I immediately thought about our conversations we had about it, and you calling him he was an informant.
Yeah.
He worked with him all day long. Yeah. And I was like, nah, let's give it some time. If he did less than 5 years, all right, then we could have this conversation. Now they're talking about maybe even less than that. Now he's going to do something. Served.
He might do something, but right now we can look at all the time he's in it. That's going to count as whatever, sentence they give him. And they talk about below the mandatory minimum. That's crazy.
I would have to say that old guy was right, man.
I mean, here's the thing. And I don't want people to say, like, even if he didn't start originally, he still was a rat. He still worked with them. So does it even matter what point he started working with them? Does it matter whether it was from the beginning, the middle, or the end? He still worked with them.
Goddamn, you must have worked really well to get nothing like
that's crazy.
Here. Wow. I mean, and then they're talking about putting him in protective custody. Like this, it's 6ix9ine.
It's a situation where it's just like, it's not that I want to see anybody get locked up. I'm not like, I want to. No, it's just like, how does this happen? But I was saying, like in my video, attorney Shabazz, she was kind of talking about the defense that they would try to use, the fact that he's just a young little, Hispanic kid, these gangsters, these hoodlums influenced him, and for whatever reason, maybe that could be the narrative. Now they may sentence him to 3 years or maybe even 5. He gets time served. He may get out in 2.5, 3, something like that. But even that is a straight up victory, a straight up and down victory, like
from 47.
Right. And who did he give up though? Like who the hell did he give up? Everybody. He probably went to the that's crazy.
Everybody, anybody he knew. If he knew the name, they know the name.
Man.
And that's that man.
So what about his credibility?
You know, what credibility?
I mean, a lot of people are saying that he may have deals coming out. He may get back to music. You think that's over with? You think if 6ix9ine was out this time next year, you don't think he would make music?
I put it to you like this.
He'll make it.
He'll make it.
Yeah.
But if we talked about it on this podcast, I'd have a hard time questioning the credibility of this podcast.
So what about the other people who continue to promote him, even though, you know, the fact that he is running his mouth like water?
Anybody that promotes 6ix9ine and his music after he gets out, after telling on everybody that he told on, if they allow him to make a living doing rap music, they're fuck boys too.
Right.
Period.
Yeah.
And they're just as fake as he is, and they need to be just as unfollowed as he is, because you can't condone this kind of behavior. Now, I'm not sitting here saying, and a lot of people are going to go, oh, but if you got people cheating on your girl, you got people trying to kill you, and you got people trying to do this and trying to do that, maybe they thought your ass was disloyal way ahead of time and they knew to take your ass out.
Right.
Maybe they knew just this dude gonna tell on every fucking body. So we got to get him out the way.
Man, might have been the case because they were, for what we know, they was trying to take him out at one point. You know what I mean? They seen this dude was a bitch. You know, I'm gonna fuck his girl, I'm gonna take his money, he's a bitch. That's what they was probably thinking. And we see now that he went ahead and, you know, ratted on. Now I hear a lot of people saying a lot of stuff in the comment sections, like he stands no chance in the street. That, you know, that I'm not going to repeat some of the stuff that I heard, but most of the people that I've seen said that his career is pretty much done at this point.
I'm telling 6ix9ine to take them tattoos off your face, go move to fucking Wyoming and forget about all this shit.
How could you expect him to stop? But he was making millions. That's like, all right, you're doing your shit. You get locked up. You come out in a year. That's the first thing you're getting back to.
Where's he going on tour at? Where's he realistically going to be able to make money at? What the fuck is he going to rap about? What you going to sing? What you going to rap?
I mean,
the fuck are you going to rap about? Oh, man.
It's a situation where, you know, we're going to see how this plays out. I'm interested to see how this plays out. If he does get out, who steps up? Because a lot of guys, you know, said a lot of things, not thinking that he would be out again. Snoop, you know, Meek, a lot of guys, you know, put their foot, you know, down and said, this dude's a rat. I think Boosie was another one. So I'm going to see, it's going to be interesting to see if he does make his way back into the rap game after this, you know, who will still be beside him, who will support him, if he'll be able to still do tours, etc., etc. My prediction is that he could the way the game is now, I think that he could re-enter back in the rap game. At this point, who's going to stop him?
I know we better not talk about it.
I ain't going to talk about him, but I think that he could do it and still do what he did, because this is the way the world is.
What's that? How fake does that talk about?
I mean,
what
it
the
just
world
is.
In the game? Like,
it is.
You mean to tell
me
who's
going to
like,
stop him?
No one's going to stop him. But that's a shame, though. Like, people going to really support his music and all that still after all.
Do you think
of
people are going to be like, oh, he's a rat? Some people sympathize with him. A lot of people out there, like you said, oh man, they was messing with his girl and they did this, and you know, these dudes was thugs. He wasn't really into the lifestyle. He was an actor. He was this, that. A lot of people actually sympathize. I'm not saying a lot, but some do. He may still be able to make a living, you know, in music after this. Now, y'all may go in on me in the comment section, but I want to hear what the people got to say about this.
You're right though. And the disgusting part is, if he came out with a record tomorrow after he got out, the shit's going, and it's disgusting. It makes me sick, but.
Talk about his time in jail or something, put a movie, whatever. Anything can happen.
Whack. I ain't listening to him.
He still got stuff. He got music out now. He's still making money off that shit. So, you know, it's a crazy situation. His girl coming out talking about the abuse and different things like that. I don't know. Again, we will wait to see how everything unfolds, you know, going forward with this 6ix9ine. We'll definitely keep you updated on that.
Indeed, man.
Definitely, man. But you tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Old God, and Sandman, going in today on this Monday. We're coming down to the final story of the day. My Sandman got that over there for us.
Yeah, man. Will Smith. We all know Will Smith's about to do the Genie. I know you can't wait to see that in Aladdin. Bad Boys, the movie coming out, Bad Boys for Life with Martin. But we got something with Dwayne Martin. Now, if you don't know, Dwayne Martin is married, or is the ex-husband of Tisha Campbell Arnold. Tisha Campbell Martin, excuse me. And they're getting a divorce. He's into some fraud shit. Will Smith, a longtime friend, got hit with a subpoena that also requires him, to hand in the personal email interaction that he's had with Dwayne Martin. There's a fraud lawsuit which launched against Martin to revoke the discharge of debt granted to him in his bankruptcy case. It also aims to get the actor to hand in the money he is accused of concealing. Now, according to legal documents obtained by the Blast, the trustee oversees Martin's bankruptcy, filed an amended lawsuit stating Smith's aforementioned cooperation with the proceedings. Smith's documentation was requested in relation to a $1.4 million loan he granted Martin in 2018. The funds were originally meant for the purchase of a home and are now an official part of the fraud case. The trustee claims the emails display the ways in which Martin continued to put pressure on his friend Will Smith to finance the transaction when he was asking the peers for the loan in 2012. The lawsuit is only aimed toward Martin. Will Smith is not being accused of any wrongdoing. His cooperation is solely being leveraged to build a case against his friend for the alleged fraudulent dealings. Oh, God, we've been talking about fraud a lot last couple of weeks. God damn it.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on this, man? He's seemingly just getting his friend for a lot of money.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy, man. It looks like he's in a pretty bad situation, there. I don't know, man. It's pretty sad to see, that situation pop off. Like, I don't know a lot about, him and them like that, but I'll do what's the best for that. I mean, it's like it's gonna be rough there. What do you think about? I know you rock out with the people.
Yeah, well, I know Will Smith, man. He's done a lot for that family. I know that if you look at a couple of the shows that Dwayne Martin was on, he was on that show with Lisa Ray where they had I think it was just the two of us or something like that. Mm-hmm. That was a Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith produced show. He got hooked up for that. Thrown him money, gave him blessings throughout the times, always been a loyal friend to him. And for him to just go and just off a moral perspective, off an honor perspective, go ahead and do your boy like that.
Right.
When he's offered you money, it's dishonorable, man. You don't do things like that. He did it to his wife, though. So this is a pattern that Dwayne Martin has had. He's probably looking at some jail time for some fraudulent activity. And that's where they're putting the case up against him. 1.4 is a lot of money. Right. And that's not the only money. So it remains to be seen. Like you said, it's real unfortunate. Like I said, it's real terrible sign of disloyalty, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. But yeah, hopefully they get that whole situation, worked out, man. We'll definitely keep you updated. Indeed. If there's any more updates, on that situation. But yeah, I'm in another episode of Uncensored Truth Podcast in the books, man. Once again, on this Monday, we'll be back this Friday night, back on Hip Hop News Uncensored for our weekly Friday night show. And that show does start at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Whatever platform you're watching this on, go down into the description box of the video. Go follow us on our Twitters, our Instagram, our Facebooks, and go hit our links up, and we'll definitely sure to follow everyone back if y'all follow us. Definitely.
Indeed, man. We appreciate each and every one of y'all listening and watching the Uncensored Truth Podcast tonight on this Monday evening. Whether you're watching on Viral Hip Hop News Uncensored, or of course the Uncensored Truth Podcast official channel, we appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe to all three platforms, hit the notification bell on all three platforms. Yeah, we appreciate that. Also on Spotify, Google Play, and all major online outlets for your listening pleasure. Make sure you subscribe to that as well. We appreciate you, man. Another one in the books. Oh God, see you tomorrow, man.
Yes, sir. We out of here, family. Y'all be good. Peace.